It's not going. Hey there. Welcome to Take Action Training. Today is Tuesday, March 2nd. And if you are catching this on the replay, we are talking about Facebook stories. This is a follow-up to our Facebook focus. So you are in for a treat.
Yes, we started with Facebook groups, and last week we optimized your profile, and now we're going to show you how to really kind of bring it all together and stand out and create some more fun, creative kind of engagement and visibility for yourself. So I am going to, well, for yourself and your business, I'm going to drop this week's resource into the chat for those who are here with us live. Feel free to open that up, download it. There's no big images this week, so if you're a printer, you're welcome to print it as well.
Exactly. And since we're talking stories, we have several people who have joined us live. So let us know in the comments if you are using stories, if you're not using stories, and what your biggest takeaway, if you are using stories, is. And if you're not using stories, why?
Yeah, it looks like we have a pretty good mix. So Savita has tried stories before. Tony loves stories, and Jate has not tried them, doesn't know what their purpose is or what purpose they're expected to serve or how to use them. So I think we can kind of help with all three of those levels today, because we're just going to kind of demystify some of the things that may feel out of your reach, and then also talk about a few ideas. Heather does stories. And Tony, she does them on her business page, her personal page, and she loves reels too. So Tony's the overachiever in this group, I'll tell you right now.
For sure.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But
exactly.
We're going to start at the beginning for those who maybe want to know a little bit about what they are and what purpose they can serve in your marketing mix. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the tech queen today.
So
I'm trying to navigate all the tech. So sorry for the awkward pause. So yes, stories. So in our Take Action Tuesdays, we followed the what, why, how. So the what of stories. So
what are they?
What are they? They are, I'm going to pull up. Let me share. Maybe. All right. So stories, basically, wanted to show really quick. They are a different format for Facebook, and they are consumed in a different way. I keep hearing all the buzz that the news feed is going to be changing more and more and more over the next few years, and more consumption in the stories. So stories, if you want to look at ones that I posted, oops, let me back it up. So I posted these today. Okay, and just a little bit ago. I don't always use stories. I will be from now on. But you can see you don't have to do anything, and you could just consume it, and you can see what your friends are doing. And it's really, really easy. So you can give them a like. Music, I'm not sure if you can.
Yeah, we can hear it.
All right. So very easily consumed. That is what the biggest takeaway is as far as stories. And they're so creative. And one last thing is that they don't have to be forced because they're quick. They only last 24 hours. You can really show some creativity, and you don't have to stress over how long, taking a ton of time to create them.
Yes. And because they're so consumable, as Julie mentioned, it's really a fun opportunity for you to kind of let loose a little bit and kind of show some different kind of content that maybe isn't what you would normally, what you would normally do in your regular content that's there forever. And I'll tell you, I was sleeping on stories. Julie is she's displaying my stories right now. I was sleeping on stories for far too long and kind of having to play catch up there, but it's such an incredible opportunity to just give little snippets, the same, here we go with my wild hair, the same kind of content rules can apply. You can add value by creating tips. You can create awareness by letting people know about a training, and you can just really do anything you want on stories. And because they're so consumable and because they're only there for 24 hours, there's more of a fire under those who are watching and who are viewing, to kind of keep coming back. And the goal, hopefully by the end of the day, we can give you some little tidbits on how to have people kind of crave to hear more from you and your stories.
I do want to say one little caveat to the 24-hour thing is that they can be added to your featured posts. So that was a story, or your featured images, which is really, really nice. So that is a way to keep them on Facebook. Now, we're predominantly talking about Facebook today, but obviously stories is a major player for Instagram as well. And
there's not very much of a difference. So I would almost suggest, unless you just have all the time in the world, that you go ahead and link the two, and you either have, if Facebook is your main place that you post your stories, have them auto post to Instagram, or if Instagram is the main place that you post them, have them auto post to Facebook. That way you can kind of cross pollinate, because the content sings the same on both Facebook and Instagram, whereas that's not necessarily true for just a standard post on Instagram or a standard post on Facebook. You'll want to switch those up a little bit, but hashtags aren't really relevant whenever it comes to stories. So there's, in my opinion, Julie, correct me if I'm overstepping here, but in my opinion, there's really no reason to create different stories for Instagram or different stories for Facebook, unless you are just doing something super specific or exclusive to that particular profile.
Correct. And what I was going to add to that is that I would prefer to create them in Instagram because of the hashtags. They are amazingly searchable in Instagram, and they will help you grow your network. So if you have an Instagram presence, even though today we're really talking about Facebook, I would start your story and share from Instagram back to Facebook if you're not a business account. So you would share back to your page if you set it that way. So you cannot share to your personal profile if you're a business on Instagram, if that makes sense. So once you change to a business, you have to keep it, and it won't share back to your personal. So that would be the only reason why to create two.
Gotcha.
If you start from Instagram, if that made sense.
Absolutely made sense. So carrying on a little bit with 24 hours, and then they disappear, with the caveat of you can add them to your featured posts. And I think that's a great opportunity to showcase, if you got a particular, if a story got a impressive amount of viewers, or if it was one that really highlighted something that you'd like to highlight going forward, add it to a featured collection. And we talked about featured collections last week in our Facebook optimization training. And those, just real quickly, those featured collections are a great place to display kind of what your content theme is, which goes back to the second training that we did about creating a theme around your content. So, mine are health and wellness, and then I have my marketing stuff, and then I have my family and travel, which is kind of the 4 or 5, topics that I tend to build my content around.
Exactly. And again, we talked about, you can add a little emoji. You can see one of those is in both of ours. I created mine. The name of my featured is Julieisms, because I'll have these things that I say all the time. So I'll just keep, as I have a post that would fit into that category, I'll just save it there. And then you can see on Jessica's, she's already saved a good many into her socially inclined, so that people can consume and see what we're all about.
Exactly. Yeah, especially since I was kind of silent last year with the new baby and all of that. People are really starting to be like, what is she doing? So this gives them a great place to kind of come and learn about that on their own terms. So Tony, I 100% agree. I was really bummed out when I found out that they actually used to offer stories in groups, because I think that would be such a fun thing. Like Julie's stories this morning and mine yesterday about the podcast would have been so much more fun and consumable for our, what is it, like 1,600 group members that we have now than, just the regular post, because it kind of keeps it switched up and like Julie mentioned first, highly consumable, because we know that the attention span and the amount of time that you have to capture someone or that someone is going to spend with you is less than 7 seconds. So that's why these stories are really proving that to be 100% true.
Right. Our friend Sandy, I don't think she's on today. She works 9 to 5 and she can't ever get on for these, but loves them. So she catches the replays, but she does a fabulous, fabulous job. I'm going to pull her up while I'm thinking about it. Let me.
Right. So, and she does a really good job. And we're going to talk a little bit more about your content mix when it comes to stories and what that would look like. But she does a really good job of keeping it dynamic and kind of goes back between some of her promotional content and some of her like fun little personal storytelling videos. So keeping it fun and dynamic, that's the way that you're going to keep people from just swiping past and not really and skipping over a particular story.
Yeah, I've already seen all of her stories this morning. Is why I'm having to scroll so far to try to find her. There needs to be a search in here. But anyway, check out some other people's stories, especially that are doing a mix of personal and business, and see how they're using them. You'll really get an eye opener. And it's pretty cool.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so let's dive right into some do's and some don'ts for those of you who might be thinking about stories, but you're not really sure where to start and how. We're going to just take a few minutes to talk about how that content differs from just a regular post that you would make, say, in your group or your profile or your page. So anytime that we were talking about content before on your page or your profile, usually we suggest those photos and those videos to kind of be shot in landscape mode, where you're holding your phone like this, because it gets a wider shot and actually more of the content is shown on the feed. That is the opposite for stories, because as you can see, those are long thumbnails. And the 9:16 format, which is simply, for the non-fancy way of saying that, is like selfie. So when you would hold the camera like this, anytime you're making a video or taking a photo that you want to be seen, I guess, to most optimally on a story, it needs to be in that format.
Exactly. Now, there's not to say that you can't post it from the other format. Like if you'd already taken the photo, again, these don't have to be overproduced. So if you've got a great photo that you've done and you can't stage it again, use it anyway. Just put it on a colored background. So it would look something similar to this. You can't see. Sorry. Hold on.
Yeah. And the great thing about stories is it actually auto-populates you a background. So you don't actually have to go into Canva or whatever to put that on a background. It will automatically do it for you.
And there's lots of options there, and you can filter them after that just to get, into the color. We always talk about branding, to get into the color scheme that you're looking for. So there's lots of options.
Yes. And because you only have 15 seconds, that's how long it can be. It can be 20 seconds, I think, on Facebook, but if you have them linked, I think it automatically limits you to 15 seconds. That's definitely something to keep in mind whenever you are making something like a video or Yeah, a video or a boomerang or something like that. But a boomerang will automatically be short enough for you to post. And I made this mistake, actually. Julie highlighted one of my featured posts last week where I took a 1.5-minute video and I fed that thing into stories in 6 different videos. And it just was not impactful because of this next do and don't. Most people will not watch your story with audio. They just won't. That's just not how they're consumed. So I've already done the learning for you. Let me shorten the learning curve. Even if you have a fantastic 1.5-minute video, go ahead and think of a way to reformat it to where your message doesn't depend on the audio so much.
There can be some caveats to that. If you can train your audience to want to understand that you're going to do that, then there is a place for it. Like if it's a short training tip. But again, they have to be in a place to consume that where audio isn't an issue. So I would say text first and short text. And then, yes, you can start, once you get that dialed in, I was going to pull one up. There's someone that I know that does super long ones. There might be 20 of them and they do get consumed, but she's telling the story. So again, it's going to be trial and error for you, but get the words dialed in first before you start experimenting with some of these others, because you want to start building up the algorithm again for the engagement.
For sure. And since this is these take action trainings are generally like a first step. We are going to have a bigger stories training down the road. This is to help prevent overwhelm. So don't stress out about the super long stories. So these are kind of like beginner tips. Obviously, if you're someone like Tony, who is already a stories master, then you could finagle a 45-second video and really get people to pay attention, especially if you were doing something fun and exciting like she does in the kitchen, or if you're doing something like dancing or singing. You might even be able to get someone to turn on their audio if they're in a place where they can, if you're going to do something silly or creative of that nature. Sarah, a boomerang, it's actually a button that it will abbreviate a video to I think it's 2 seconds, and it'll just run it back and forth. So it goes forward and backwards and forward and backwards. And it's got a really it's a great way to kind of break up the monotony if you've just posted some still images or some videos. It's really fun. I do them a lot with shots of my little Livy Lou because it's so fun to watch her stand up and fall down. I was going to see if I could find.
Okay. I had a boomerang. I just did one. Okay. They watched me do it. So
okay.
For the best that I could for what we were doing here. So anyway, you hold the button down and it'll change that video and clip it and then put it on loop and repeat for you. So you can do a lot with those. If they stand out, obviously they can give you a little character fun. They tend to be fun ones. So if you were in the fitness and let's say you're Shakeology or any kind of powdered drinks or whatever, you can do.
That's Beachbody for those of you who.
Yeah. Drinking or even shaking up your powdered mix. There's lots and lots and lots of options.
I think I actually did one where I was holding my screen with the podcast, and I just simply I took a video and I went,
yeah,
and then I hit it on boomerang, and it was so it just kind of took it back and forth, and it probably aggravated some of those haters out there, but it was also very fun for those who are cheering you on, which is more people than you think.
For sure. Yeah. Don't worry about the negativity. So again, basically you can upload, or you can actually click it, turn it around, and then you just hold it down and it'll take the video for you no matter what you're doing. So obviously that's not a good one, but you get the idea. So it'll take one in place. So you can again, these are supposed to be really quick. Stories are just easy ways for you to get a win.
Yes. So, Carrie, this is a great question. It really is because, we get it. When it comes to managing someone else's social media, you're kind of at the mercy of what they provide you with. So, if they don't really give you behind the scenes pics, that's okay. You've still got images of their handmade products, and that's wonderful. And you can bring them to life and get them to jump off the screen with the animated GIFs. I love that. So pull up a story, put an image in, and then you're going to want to, let me just see what this looks like so I can tell you exactly. If you go to stickers, which is the top, very top right here, and it opens up and you have 3 choices of stickers, GIFs, and emojis. I love the GIFs, especially for a still image that I need to draw some attention to. If you go to GIFs, you can search anything. And you could even do, Julie's showing you right now, like new item or arrows. There's lots of animated arrows that will like swing down and draw the eye to where you want to go. And you can lay as many of those on top, just like this. So imagine that this was a new product for a client that you had and you wanted to do a story. Yeah, just like that. And you can move it around. You could add arrows if you wanted to highlight a certain feature. And I would almost suggest doing 2 or 3 for the same item. So like you could show it and then you could say to learn more and then put in the little link of where they would go or the address or whatever it is that might draw more attention there. Does that answer your question? Does that seem doable for a client like that? And you could also ask for a video. Now, I know that when you do that, a lot of times you're not going to get what you're wanting because it just doesn't seem, nope. Okay, well, if you could get any kind of longer video, you could always take little small shots out of it.
And we feel your pain because I ask all the time.
100%. I feel it, girl.
We ask all the time for our done for you clients, can we get some just, around the office shots or whatever, you in action, behind the scenes, whatever. So it is difficult. So we can be creative with some of the things that they do give us. And we will use a lot of GIFs, like not just like on an image, but like straight up GIFs and stories to help as well.
How do I do the share to button back to her bio or IG? Where is that?
Oh, okay, hold on. So here, hold on.
Are you asking how to connect?
She's asking, hold on. Let's want to try to see where it says, in the hold, you're not seeing my screen. I'm so sorry. Okay. Right here where it says, share story here, I've got, them linked. So in, see how it says, I clicked privacy in the bottom right-hand corner and then it says always share to Instagram. So that is how. And then also you're in privacy, you can change for public or just your friends or hide or custom if you've got custom lists. So I think she's talking about here, but she may be talking about from Instagram first. And again, it's the same way. I'd have to. Let me go in and see. Story settings. Share your story to Facebook. So again, the caveat there is if your business, which if you're using our dashboard or you're using any third party, it has to be a business account. And when that would link back to your page rather than your personal. So if you want it linked to your page, if you want to start on Instagram, link it to your page, you have to come back and recreate that story on your personal.
Great questions, guys. I think we did cover that last point about being creative. Use your filters, use the stickers, get in there and explore what there is to offer, because it's kind of mind blowing, the fun, silly things that that they really provide for you to bring things to life and have things pop off the page for those who are watching your stuff.
Yeah, and for sure mix in the polls and ask questions. Now I'm in Facebook with this one, but so basically ask a question. What do you want to ask? Did you show up live? Whatever. Did you show up? Or did you take action? How about that? Did you take action?
I like that better.
Today. All right. And then, so obviously I would, let's see. Did I lose it? No. So let me type a new one. Hold on. I want that to be gone. So, and you can see, you can quickly get to something branded. Once you do that, you can filter it. So you have options. Okay. So quick. You should spend what? It's not going to be in our thing, but a minute, 2 minutes tops.
Yeah.
On these.
There's really no point in spending much more than that, because you can't really have any text that goes with it. And it's all about that image, just, or it's all about the content kind of jumping off the page, the image or the short video or whatever it is that you've included.
All right. Let's see.
Yeah, so we talked about some of these content ideas and like how to get engagement and like really kind of, because that's what stories are really going to do for you, is kind of increase your visibility, get more engagement, and then kind of give your audience a chance. It gives you a chance to kind of nudge in on that know, like, and trust factor a little bit more, which is why if you're comfortable with it, it's okay to be a little more vulnerable, a little more buttoned down, and a little more casual with your stories, because it's all about kind of being relatable and creating that. Even though it's not a back and forth conversation, just imagine that you're talking to one person whenever you're doing a story, like you're doing a story specifically to them.
Right. It's a great place to build know, like, and trust, and for people to get more information about what you do and insight. And again, so quick, such a quick win.
Yes. So here we've laid out a few of our top ideas just based on kind of the research that we've been doing the last month or so. Is some of our top ideas here are behind the scenes look, because those are always fun. I don't sell hair or makeup products or anything like that, but today my story has gotten so much traction because I did a before and after simply of me getting ready for this, which is nothing special, but we all get up and do certain things whenever we get ready for our day. So I did that before and after. And that's just kind of so that people aren't always just seeing me in the done phase. And maybe that doesn't look like a before and after of your hair and makeup for you, but it will look something unique to you that still kind of falls into that caveat.
Yeah, it can be if you're
category. Sorry.
Sarah is a jewelry designer, maker. So it could be hers getting, her work desk ready, with a selfie in the back. It's like, let's do this, lots of different ways to bring that.
Yes. And just like Julie did in her stories today, the event was coming quickly. Like we were posting this morning about this Take Action training, but you can also back that up a little bit, and you can just kind of throw in a teaser here, a teaser there for your challenge group that's starting next Monday. It's all about getting that conversation going, keeping that curiosity, piquing that curiosity, and then, just dropping little breadcrumbs, if you will, into what you're doing and kind of where you're going in your business. Holidays are super fun. Of course, we clue all of our members in on like the holidays and stuff with the Your Social Plan membership, but you can also find your own at National Calendar. You can find the holidays for the day if that's something that kind of plays in to the content that you'd like to put out there on stories.
I had a really quick tip too on when you are sharing from Instagram. Something that we haven't really covered is there's a swipe up feature, so you actually can get them to. That's if you have 10,000 or more followers. Okay, so goals. If you're not there, that's okay. Or if you have an e-commerce site, there's a workaround. If you have Shopify, you actually get the swipe up feature immediately. So there are lots of ways to direct people on your messages as well. So call to action is really where I was trying to get to with that. And I'm trying to read Leslie's comment about, do you record these lives? Yes, we do record these lives, and they are in our Take Action training. You can get find out more about that at sociallyinclined.com/takeaction.
And just to kind of, I guess, piggyback on what Julie was just mentioning, I don't have 10,000 followers on Instagram. So, I can't do the whole swipe up or call to action, but that's okay because I'm actually seeing pretty good success with just by putting in a link that people can see. Of course, it's not clickable. And maybe you don't have a website and you're like, oh, Jess, that's not right for me. But if you have a Facebook group, don't forget that's easy to do too. You could say, join my group. And then the name. Or if you even wanted to go as far as putting the URL in there, you can always abbreviate it to fb.com/groups/your URL for that. As long as it is relatively simple, those who are truly interested will absorb the information that they need to absorb, and they'll go act on it. So I've been doing that a lot with our podcast because all we have to do is it's sociallyinclined.com/podcast. So that's easy enough. It's not the average person who's not interested in marketing tips and things like that. They're not going to care enough about remembering that URL and typing it in. But if my ideal client is watching and they want these Take Action trainings and they want to build their business and they want to do X, Y, and Z to get to their dream business, they're going to go through the effort to remember sociallyinclined.com/podcast, especially if I show up 3 or 4 times a week, reminding people that we have a podcast and it helps people. And this is where you can go listen. And our new podcast is out. Have you heard it's being listened to around the world? It's that kind of thing because they're so highly consumable and they disappear so quickly. Don't be afraid to be repetitive and don't get bogged down in everything having to be brand new and crisp and fresh. It's okay to repurpose and to be repetitive in that way.
Right. And one more point to that is that you also can use it on Instagram, link in bio. And if you build, there'll be a future Take Action training on that. Some people, if they don't have a linked page for their links, they just change the link so that the story is appropriate. And let me see if I can share really quick. So like if you had a sticker that said link in bio, basically once this is consumed, they can come back to, they would be on my page. They would come back here. Oh, I need to see it. Anyway, so mine is, or ours is sociallyinclined.com/links. And that takes them to a links page. Okay. And so here we are. And then you can see all of the things. So again, shameless plug, future Take Action Tuesday. But I wanted to say that there are other ways for call to actions. And link in bio is a good one for that. And other thing about, I said we're not to 10,000 people or whatever. We were over 13,000. If you've missed us talking about that, and we backed it back down. Now we only have 2,275. We've talked a whole lot about finding your perfect people and the algorithm. So I gave up.
Why would you delete followers. Isn't
Yep.
that all that matters?
No. Yeah. So the swipe up feature was not as important to us as having an engaging following that actually want to see our stories and content. So don't worry, you'll get there. So just
Yes.
keep trying.
And that was sarcastic, but if you're sitting here like I was 6 years ago when I started my business, and your number one goal for the month is to just have 10,000 followers, or all you want to do is grow your following, let us just go ahead and tell you what we've learned the hard way. It's not all about the quantity of followers. It is about the quality of followers and what they're going to do on your page and with your content.
Yes. I'm going to just quickly, Joy joined us after she's late. So I'm just going to really quick, while we're talking really quick, again, just to create a story, super, super, super simple. So you just click create story. It could be text, music, boomerang, mood, selfie, or poll. We encourage you to try them all. Basically, you just click on whatever. So let's do mood because we haven't done that one today. So, and that's how I did the one that's on mine. So I did excited. And you'll see you've got, all right. So if I wanted to do this, it's like Take Action Tuesday was a success. So basically change your color background, find something that works. You can even further change the tint. So now it's in our color family. Add some text. So take action. Whoops. I just want to show you live how fast it can be. Take action training. I'm going to say Tuesday on this one. Was a success. Bam. Change the color. We'll make it purple. Could add a sticker. Let's add a GIF. Let's do yay.
Animated sticker.
Yeah. Let's do that. Spin that sucker. Again, they don't have to be perfect. They're going to last 24 hours unless you put them in a featured, a featured thing. So basically you can see how I could post that really quick and I'd be happy with it. It'd be fine.
And you can also, Deanne, just start with a picture. Like you don't have to pick one of the things across. You could, right below all of that, you could see the photos on her camera reel. If you had one, you could just select one of those and add to it from there. Yes, Kimberly, that she is showing to Facebook because we're in our Facebook series right now. We did groups 2 weeks ago, profile last week, stories this week, and then we're probably going to do either pages or engaging in other people's groups next week. And we may do something specific to Instagram stories in some of our longer trainings down the road, or we may do an actual Instagram story in a future Take Action training. But yes, Deanne, easy peasy.
Yes. So again, we usually say less is more, but I almost think more is more when it comes to stories. So because they're so consumable, they don't have to do anything and they can scroll through. They can just skip you if they don't want to see it. So
yes, and that is to Facebook, but we showed how to connect the two to where it will auto post to Instagram.
Exactly. All right. So this week's, we went over again. So sorry, but this week's Take Action is on stories. And we want you to actually come to the group and tell us that you have posted a few stories and how it's going. It's just like regular posts. You have to get the algorithm going. So the first ones are going to be a little light, but once you get people trained, they will be going like gangbusters. So come to the group. Let us know how it went.
Yes, for sure. And what kind of viewership you got of your content. That's always real interesting. Because what I've noticed is that the harder I work on a story, the more it seems to kind of fall flat. Like literally the ones that I just capture in the moment and put out there tend to do better. So if you're one of those people who gets bogged down and like overthinking things, don't do that. Just put it out there and, make adjustments down the road as you kind of get there.
And here's how you can see so quickly, like you go back and consume your story. So 20 viewers. Okay, I can see who's viewed, and then it'll go to the next one. I'll just skip. So 6 viewers, because I've been posting these as we're going.
Yeah, that's like in the last 30, 20 minutes.
So again, the more you use them, the faster they will grow, I guess, or the algorithm, the engagement will go much faster. So, all right. So thank you. I'm going to stop the recording. So thank y'all for joining us for Take Action training on Facebook Stories this week. Be sure to catch us next Tuesday, where we are talking about growing your presence in other people's groups.
Yes, cannot wait to see you there. That one is going to be a doozy, and it's going to be amazing for helping you grow your business.